really important stuff to keep in mind. The one thing that I would do is look at the 5 to 6 hours and see if you can allocate 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That's a no-brainer. If you're feeling sleepy and lethargic, well, number one, you need more sleep. Now, let's talk about the quality of your sleep. So, the first thing we troubleshoot, duration of your sleep. If you're not sleeping enough, get more sleep. But number two, let's look at the quality of your sleep. Why is it maybe in those 5 to 6 hours you're not sleeping well? So the one thing I want you to look at is what's your condition right now? Are you obese? Do you have sleep apnea? Do you unknowingly wake yourself up every 100 times every hour because you're suffocating at night? If you many overweight individuals and obese individuals, they suffer from sleep apnea, and you will have bouts during the night of 60 seconds, 90 seconds in which you're not even breathing. And then you wake yourself up, and then sure enough, you start breathing again. That's not deep sleep. You never get the growth hormone release that you need, and so you wake up and you're kind of foggy and you're fuzzy throughout the day. So pay attention to that. So looking at your physical condition right now, looking at the duration of the sleep. Now, once again, talking about the quality of the sleep. Okay, sleep apnea, that's going to play a huge major role in it. On top of that, let's talk about your meal, the meal that you eat before going to bed. Typically, if you eat a high carbohydrate meal, something with a lot of starchy or sugary carbohydrates, that blunts that growth hormone release when you fall asleep. And remember, 90 minutes in, that is money time. That is when that pituitary gland really starts putting it out. And if you've got high carbohydrates, which means big insulin response in the system, blood sugar levels go up from the carbohydrate consumption, your pancreas releases all that insulin goes up, it blunts that growth hormone release. So if you eat a lot of carbs before you go to bed at night, you are not going to sleep well. You're going to be tossing and turning, and it's going to be miserable. So I highly recommend you cut your levels of carbohydrate for that last meal of the day, simply because the quality of your sleep will go up tenfold, and you'll get that beautiful growth hormone release, so you'll actually be much more rested in the morning. On top of that, look at the quality of the foods that you're eating right before you go to bed. Okay, so we've already talked about duration of sleep, now quality of sleep. Next thing we're going to look, basic hydration. A lot of times, when you are dehydrated, your body does all kinds of crazy things. It tells you that you're hungry, it tells you that you're tired. A lot of times, I'm simply dehydrated. I just need to drink some water. Sure enough, I drink some water and I feel really good. I've got my energy levels back. So look at your hydration. See, are you drinking a gallon of water a day? Are you staying hydrated through the morning? Also, it's really important to look at your overall nutrition throughout the day. Are you deficient in a lot of the foods that you need? Are you eating real whole foods, or are you eating processed foods? Let's look at the greater picture here, because really, I feel sleepy and tired. That's a problem. But there isn't necessarily one. There is a solution, but we need to actually weed through all these different things that are going on to find that solution. Another thing you want to look at is, are you a caffeine drinker? There's a Starbucks on every corner, and it really seems to have become a part of our culture. Is coffee, and I'm not for it. I'm not against it. It could be a great tool, but at the same time, it really can interfere with your sleep patterns, number one, because when are you drinking your coffee? And number two, if your body is used to that regular cup of coffee on a regular basis, sometimes when you don't have that coffee, your adrenals automatically they're starting to slow down because they're ready for that caffeine kick so they can turn themselves back on. So sure enough, you can actually really play around with that, with lethargy and feeling sleepy and tired early in the morning, or that exhaustion later in the afternoon after lunch. And so the coffee drinkers, beware, because you guys are riding the blood sugar roller coaster and that caffeine roller coaster all day long. Once again, I'm not for it, I'm not against it, but if you are going to be drinking caffeine, there's some really cool and fun tricks of the trade as to how to drink the caffeine to maximize what we're trying to do, number one, for fat loss, and number two, to prevent yourself, to ride that caffeine kick as long as you possibly can, and when it wears off, now we need to do damage control and just make sure that we can get those adrenals nice and fresh again so that they're ready to function normally. So anyway, I hope this answered some of your questions, and I apologize for a little bit of the tangent, but I really want to talk about, number one, like quality of sleep, so important, and so much of it hinges upon that beautiful hormone HGH, human growth hormone, that our body naturally releases during our sleep cycles. I can't say enough for that, the importance of that first sleep cycle, maximizing HGH release, but the conditions that we need to impose upon our body in order to maximize that for restful sleep. If you're only going to get 5 to 6 hours, and 5 to 6 hours is the best that you can do, we need to make sure that those are 5 to 6 quality hours of sleep. So, and that way, when you do train in the morning, you're going to maximize that, and you're going to feel the energy levels that you should be feeling, that you expect to feel, and you're not going to be sleepy or tired afterward. So, anyway, I hope that answered some questions. I hope everybody's doing great out there. Thank you so much for following along, and I'll be coming to you from another location sometime very soon. In the meantime, stay tuned and be well. Keep reshaping the nation. See you guys.